And good evening. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here on the Highliner Activity Network and our home here in the Hack Live lobby, live on YouTube. I am Paul McDonald, your host this evening, and got another full show for you coming up here. And we're going to be talking football, we'll be talking cross country, we'll be talking tennis. That's all coming up. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about volleyball. Valley City Volleyball last night had a 5-setter against Fargo South, and what a match. Down 2-0 in 2 sets to nothing going into the third set. They were down 12-6 in that third set, and looked like Fargo South was going to come up and get the sweep. Valley City rallied and came back, won that third set 25-22, sent it to a fourth set. In the fourth set, there are 11 ties in that fourth set, and also each team towards the end of the night had 5 set points, but couldn't put the other away. And it ended up being a 33-31 win for Valley City in that fourth set. So they were down 2 sets to nothing, down 12-6 in that third set, came back, won that, and then they won the fourth set 33-31 to send it to a fifth set. And then in that fifth set, they got up to a great start again, led at one time 11-7. But then the Bruins battled back, tied it at 13, and actually the Bruins ended up scoring the last 5 points of the match and won 15-13 in that fifth set. So the Highliner volleyball team now 5-7 on the season, 2-3 in the conference, and I'll tell you, it doesn't get any easier. Coming up tomorrow night here at the Hack, Fargo North comes to town. Undefeated, 11-0, ranked number 1 in the state in the new volleyball poll that actually came out yesterday. And so they have got a very tough game coming up here at the Hack tomorrow night. Again, that is Fargo North coming in 4:30 for the C Squad and the ninth graders, 5:45 for the junior varsity, and then the varsity at 7 o'clock. And again, you'll be able to watch it right here on the Highliner Activity Network. Also tomorrow night, if you like football, if you like youth football, we've got it for you. We got you covered tomorrow night. We'll have 4 football games from Hannah Field here tomorrow. We'll have the junior high games, the 7th and 8th grade games coming up first at 5 and 6:15. And as you heard Ryan Mathias talk about last week, the Thunder, they were supposed to play in Jamestown. They moved that game to Valley City. So then they will have 2 games for Thunder football tomorrow night at about 7 and 8:15, thereabouts, for those 2 games against Jamestown. Thunder football actually opened up at Cooperstown last night, and Thunder White won by a 12-0 score as they got the season started. So football is going, so we'll have 4 football games going for you tomorrow. So maybe you could sit at home and watch the Vikings and then open up your computer and you can watch the Highliners as the 7th and 8th graders will go first, and then Thunder football will go second. Then Friday night, the Highliner varsity team, they are back home as they'll be taking on the Dickinson Midgets here Friday night. 7 o'clock kickoff, and again, we'll have that for you right here on the Highliner Activity Network. And before we wrap up the show this afternoon, tonight, we'll talk about next week. It's homecoming week. So we'll talk a little bit about what's going on and what you can watch for next week during Highliner homecoming. Of course, it'll all wrap up with the West Fargo Horse game on Friday night. One thing I want to talk about that I did get a chance to talk about last week, volleyball, the new 3-class system in volleyball. That will get kick-started the year of 2025-2026. So in 2 years, there will be a 3-class volleyball system in North Dakota. It's going to be the exact same model that they have right now, or they're going to have with basketball. So Valley City will be in that middle class. They'll have AA, they'll have A, and they'll have B, and Valley City will be in that Class A. The regions will be aligned the same, and the districts will be aligned the same. So everybody will be exactly the same as it will be this year for basketball, boys and girls basketball, and that will be 2025-2026. That volleyball will go to a 3-class system. And again, the breakdown is if you're up over 650 students, you're in the AA's, 162.5 to 649, you're in Class A, and then anything under 162 enrollment, you're going to be in Class B in volleyball. So look for that coming up here. So that means for the Highliners, this year's 8th graders, 9th graders, and sophomores, when they're juniors and seniors, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, will be in that 3-class system. And a lot of you know, if you follow Highliner volleyball, we've got a really strong 8th, 9th, and 10th grade class in volleyball. So we'll be seeing those young ladies will be playing in that 3-class system coming up in 2025-2026. Also come up here tonight on Coach's Corner, we're going to be talking junior high football. Aaron Heck, the head junior varsity and junior varsity football, pardon me. He's the ninth grade and junior varsity coach. Will be joining us. Coach Travis Engen from the varsity will be joining us. Deb Bilkey will be joining us as well, and she'll be bringing senior runner Corbin Golubanoff, who will be joining us on the show tonight. And Matt Nielsen will wrap things up with tennis in our final segment here tonight. So that's all what's coming up here on Coach's Corner. And we got a special guest that's going to join us here as well. He's kind of working the machines tonight, but he's going to do double duty and jump on the headset. And Brian Krewald, of course, who is the technical IT guy for Valley City Public Schools.
Oh, Paul, I've been waiting for my opportunity to be on your show.
Well, here it is. This is your 15 minutes of fame, so don't blow it.
Right. Hey, I got to give a shout out to the Times Record and that wonderful article that they wrote on about our streaming network, the Highliner Activity Network, and gave us some publicity to promote our YouTube channel and all the great things that we're doing. It's always kind of nice to come out and brag about all the good work that we've done and the kids that were involved and the kids that kind of basically built that network for us. So
it's so much easier now than when it was when it started 3 years ago to find it.
For sure, yeah. I mean, we basically have our own equipment now. We kind of really know what we're doing. Post-COVID, or actually we did that during COVID, it was just let's get up something fast and quick and easy and start streaming some of these games because of all the limitations, the crowd limitations at that time. Remember, each athlete, for volleyball could only have like 3 or 4 people come.
Yep.
I mean, we could only have like 50 people in. So no, and then we just, as people started following the channel, it just really kind of blew up. And we get our views and our clicks for events. I mean, we had, I think, 300 or 400 people watching live the Watford City football game. And Beck was there basically competing against us. So those were basically just the people that watch it from our side. I wouldn't doubt during the Dickinson game, the battle of the 2 undefeateds this Friday, that we get, another 300-400, live viewers, and then 1,000 post viewers, within a day. So I'm pretty excited about, the work that we've done and, what we're able to do.
And the Highliner Activity Network has really evolved, and we keep adding things to it. Now we got this sideline cam, which you were running the sideline cam for the Watford City game. You had a great shot of the Connor Seward touchdown in the front corner of the end zone.
Yeah, I try hard. Actually, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's the first time. We have little headsets that we're communicating back and forth with the booth and the camera gal up there. Ray Nelson was up there for the Watford game, and they're just the camera. They're just the headphones that we use for theater. Yeah. So the range isn't very good. It was cutting in and out, but I think we did a pretty good job of, all right, cut to me, the ball's coming my way, and they do some fast cuts. No, it's pretty exciting. It puts me on the sidelines. Yeah. I get to hear everything those coaches are saying to the kids. It's a blast. We have some great football coaches. They're fun.
Well, and we're going to talk to a couple of them coming up here. And as long as you don't get too close to them, because I have seen this happen where guys are on the sidelines taking video, and then they get undercut by a player because they're looking through the viewfinder. You don't want to get hurt and lose a knee or something.
I'm very aware. I'm very aware of my surroundings. But yes, we do keep getting new equipment. We keep adding as new ideas. I mean, we have the capabilities to do a lot of fun things. I mean, we're going to have instant replays down the road. I mean, we could be running commercials if we wanted to, overlays and picture overlays. We just, our team needs to grow, our experience needs to grow. Yeah. But right now, I think we're doing. I'm not to knock Fargo South stream last night, but I mean, when I was turning on the volleyball stream and I saw 24 viewers and a bunch of bad audio and static cameras, I was like, blow this stream away.
And then a cut.
Yeah,
and then it cuts
and restarts and chops. And I'm really proud of our stream. I think it's a great production that we do here. And I mean, it's just this. I mean, like we've always kind of talked. We want scrapbook moments for these events. I mean, even just this event. I mean, how cool will this Coach's Corner be to play back 10, 20 years from now? So these kids are able to go back and show their kids, hey, look, Coach actually liked me. He said some nice things about me, or she said some nice things about me, or just even get interviewed. I mean, these are just great scrapbook moments for everybody.
And for the coach is like, wow, that's what I looked like back then. Wow.
Or even, I don't remember I remember my high school coaches, but the memory I have of them is when I run into them later in life as adults. I don't remember what they look like as coaches, but I think your first guest is here.
I think our first guest is ready to go. First and second guests are coming up. So we'll step aside. We've got football. We're going to talk JV, ninth grade football. football coming up and varsity football. That's on the way. Coach's Corner from the Hack continues here on the Highliner Activity Network. And back here on Coach's Corner on the Highliner Activity Network, and we're going to talk varsity football here first, and we are joined by one of our seniors, Will Schwer, joining us. Will, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Well, your first time on the show, so don't be nervous. He's more nervous than you are right now, I guarantee you. I guarantee you that right now. And, of course, Travis Engen, the head coach of the Highliners. And, Will, I guess I'll start with you. Senior year, how is this? I mean, off to a good 3-0 start, but how are things going for you guys? You got not a new coach, it's a new head coach, but you've worked with Travis before. Everything going good as your seniors? You guys really excited about this year?
Yeah, we're working all the kinks out, working week by week.
And is it play-by-play too, week by week, game by game? Is that kind of the philosophy you guys have?
Yeah, we try to go into each week 0-0, start from fresh.
So the most important game, as Coach and I have talked about, is the next game. You don't look about what's going down the road. You've got a touchdown defensively, and I think you got a safety too so far this year. So what's it like being a scoring on defense?
That was probably the highlight of my career so far. Never scored before, so.
So you can do it more. I mean, don't be happy with one.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I know you play offensive line, defensive line, but last year on the offensive line, you guys really led the way for with Gavin and Ethan and Zach running the football. Is that something you guys take pride in with that running game?
Yeah, we try to play more aggressive than the other team. Always be the more aggressive team.
How would you describe yourself? You just like to be brute? You like to outmuscle your opponent?
Yeah, try to be more physical. If you work them right away, they'll give up more towards the end.
How about quickness? You think you're a little bit quicker than the other guy too?
Yeah, I give up some size, but I feel like I have more speed on the line.
That helps when you have some speed on the line. And Coach Engen, turning to you now with last week's game, 35-26, got the win.
Yep.
You were almost going to leave some meat on the bone, but you didn't.
Yeah. We left it.
But one thing I wanted to talk about that I thought was a big key is the special teams. Mm-hmm. The way the special teams played, not only with Bryson, I think 5 touchbacks kicking, but you had a blocked punt, you had a blocked extra point. How does that just illustrate how important special teams can be?
Yeah, it's something we practice every day. We make sure we hit most of our special teams every single day, even if it's 1 rep, 2 reps, whatever it is. And we you're right. When we got that blocked extra point, that was that changed the momentum, right? Because I think it was 14-6 at the time. And now they got to score twice, really, with the 2-point conversion. And then we ended up scoring late in the first half, so we made it 21-6. And they were climbing out of a tough lead there for us, and that was nice. And so our guys do a really nice job on special teams.
As people know that follow football, no matter what level it's at, it's an emotional game. I mean, you need an energy, you need emotion. You really got to go out there and leave it all on the field. And sometimes that emotion, you really got to kind of keep it in check. And I think you might know where I'm going with this. I think it hurt Devils Lake a little bit when that player got that unsportsmanlike, because if they leave it at the 2-yard line for the extra point, now it's just 1 score. Now it ended up being a 2-score thing.
Yeah, you're right. You got to be under control at all times. I talk a lot about riding the roller coaster. That's not what we want to do. We want to try to stay that even keel, and it's hard. It really is. But we don't want to get too high or get too low throughout the game. And so we talk about don't ride the roller coaster. And it is hard. When we score, I want them to be happy. I want them to be excited. But we got the extra point now. We got to move on. And while we got the extra point, we got the kickoff now. And so we got guys, you can't think about it anymore. And it's tough, right? Especially Will scores first time ever, right? You want him to have a little fun and excitement, but he's got to go and snap the ball now. And so you got to forget about, I just scored.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's hard, but it's something we preach.
You can watch the video later and go, hey, that was me. That was me at 55. That's me right there. Now, your offense kind of, you like to balance things out, but they took away the run. They seemed to really have keyed on Carter and took away the run. But Bryson did a nice job, a lot of short passes, and they were able to move the football that way.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's been nice this year is, when the run game's not going well for us, we can get to the pass. And Bryson had a really nice game. Our wide receivers had a really nice game. They're starting to come out of, okay, they're not learning, they just knowing. And even when they come off the sidelines, it's now nice to talk to them because they're actually giving me sound advice. Not, I think he was doing one of these things, and okay, just relax and we'll fix that. And so that was really nice. Derek Shape came off the field and said, hey, what about the slant in and go? And it was there, and it ended up being a 15-yard penalty, and then we ran it, came back to it, and ended up catching it, came out of bounds. But it was, it was him starting to think, and that's what you want. You want the wide receivers to come out of their shell a little bit because we need them.
Now, Will, with you on the defensive line, Scott Rohde now is moved on offensive and defensive line. And you look at all of you guys on that defensive line. Do you do a lot of communicating with one another when you get ready to go after things?
Well, yeah, I play linebacker, but yeah.
But defense. Thank you.
They talk. We talk gaps. Try to stay gap control the whole time. Keep communicating so everyone knows what they're doing.
Do you maybe say, hey, slide over a bit, or you slide over a bit? You kind of would say maybe the captain on the defense, if you will?
Yeah, usually communicate to everyone around me.
Okay.
Try to make sure everyone's lined up right and stuff.
What do you like better, offense or defense?
Definitely defense.
Definitely defense. You have to get out there and knock people over and, end the play like this.
Yeah.
Coming up now, Dickinson. What do you know about the Dickinson here on Friday night?
They like to run the ball, and they're very, very well coached. They stay home and they keep their gaps, so we got to play smart and can keep our gaps and stuff.
Travis, is that going to be key defensively for these guys too?
They are going to run. That's what I told the guys all week. They're going to run, and then they're going to run some more, and then they're going to run again, and then they're going to run again, and then they're going to throw the ball. And they love throwing to their tight ends and running backs, which is it's a great offensive philosophy. They're tough to cover. We worry so much about our cover 2-3 man, and we're worrying about the wide receivers, and you forget about the running backs a lot of times in the tight end. And so if we play our sound defense, and I say it all the time, don't be the hero, just cover your own spot. We got 10 other guys out there for you. We're going to be fine. And it's going to be a tough game Friday night. It really is. They're not going to quit. We were just talking about it. We may stop them. They may have 4 3-and-outs right in a row. They're going to come back and run the same things, because they're good at it. And they're just waiting to break one.
And this could be different than what you saw last week with Devils Lake, because Devils Lake threw the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, they definitely did. They had 2 receivers that, what are they, 7'4" or whatever it looked like out there for us. But, so they did a nice job. And they can throw the ball, don't get me wrong. Dickinson can throw the ball, but their bread and butter is trying to run the ball. Their O-line does a nice job of pulling and stuff like that, and they just want to run the ball.
I know what your key to a game is, because you told me it's going to be the same every week. I'll ask you then, Will, what do you think is going to be important for you guys to come out with a home win here on Friday night?
To control the line of scrimmage on offense and defense, push them around, not let them push us around.
And maybe get off to a good start, like getting that first score and as they say, punch them in the nose first.
Yeah, that really helps.
And, of course, now Will is a homecoming royalty here for Barnes County North. So good luck in the election, because that comes up next week, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens if you're going to be wearing a crown the next time I talk to you. But, Travis, last question for you, though. What are some things this team still needs to do right? 3-0 is great. It's been fun talking about it, but where are the rooms as you improve down the line here?
I think that the biggest thing is just I add stuff every week. Right, and to not put too much on them, to get them to just breathe a little bit, and not think. We got, I like what they're doing. I really do. We got to clean it up. We just got to. They have it. It's just not fluid yet. And so once they get that, we're going to be great. Some of the veterans get it. Our old line, when we're running our 14-15 zone, there's no thinking. Right, but I need to be able to do that when we come out in some different formations and a little different look. Devils Lake gave us a little bit of trouble running a 3-4 with their twist game. First time seeing it all year. And so we just got to clean that up. They know how to pick it up, but they're thinking instead of just reacting. And as soon as we can get that cleaned up, we'll be fine.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah,
That seemed to be a theme. The guys were cramping up a little bit here on Friday night.
Yeah, it is. And these guys, they do take care of their bodies. You should have seen the bananas they went through, all week, So they are working on it. And it's something I've said, too. I got a coaching staff, falls on me to make sure we get some guys some rest time. I can't, Will's got to play 70 plays on offense, 70 plays on defense. And that's hard, And so you got to find time to give guys breathers. They want to play, and that's great, but 60% of a body or 100% of a backup, sometimes you got to give them the 100% of the backup. And then, if we end up pulling Will for 2-3 plays, now he's back ready to go. And I think I mentioned it last week where if I ran Will into the ground, it might take him a whole series to get back to where he wants to be. And so we got to be a little careful on that. And so that goal of this week is to get some more guys in and not run our guys ragged.
And not so much physically, too, but mentally, because if they're getting physically down, then their mind might wander, too, doesn't it?
Oh, without a doubt, they are. And that's going to just make them slow out there.
That's human nature.
It is. Without a doubt, it does happen. So,
final question for you, Will. Did you guys, do you kind of have any goals? Did you set anything at the beginning of this year? Or, like you said, you just take it game by game?
Take game by game and then try to make state championship.
See what happens at the end. All right. Well, Will, appreciate you joining us. Will Schwer, senior linebacker. Now that I know where he plays, number 55 in your program, head coach Travis Engen. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We'll see you on Friday night.
thank you.
Thank you.
That is Will Schwer and Travis Engen. We'll be back. We're going to talk junior varsity and ninth grade football. That's coming up as Coach's Corner continues from the Hack on the Highliner Activity Network. Back here at Coach's Corner here on the Highliner Activity Network, and we're going to slip down to the junior varsity freshman football team, and Aaron Heck, who's actually going to be making his debut as a color announcer with me tomorrow night. That should be fun.
Yeah, kind of looking forward to it. Not going to be used to having to really watch what I have to say sometimes.
Well, when Thunder White's playing, I'll leave you alone.
Getting a little excited. Yeah, Thunder White. Yeah, that's.
They won last night, though.
Yeah, that was that was fun to watch. I mean, to watch my kid and watch the kids around him kind of develop. I mean, it's their first time, first game, kind of develop into. I mean, hopefully what we see down the road, which is what I'm dealing with now with the older kids. So. I mean, it's fun. It's weird having a kid though. That's good weird, but I mean that he's old enough to be playing tackle football now. So
that means you're getting old.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
There's shot number one,
Yep.
and that'll be the end of them. Junior varsity, ninth grade football. Aaron, looking at this squad, how have things been going here in the first 3 weeks for you guys?
They have been going very well. A little tough as far as injury-wise. I mean, obviously, we lose our center after week 1, and Will Schwer's little brother, James. And then we're down to only having like one line substitution. So we're trying to sub in on defense to get them a break so that way we don't run them completely into the ground. But other than that, I mean, we've faced some tough teams. I mean, Castleton is always tough. They're always a tough team. And then going up against Devil's Lake, that was fun. I mean, we pulled out a win against them. But then Kindred, that one, it was a fun game, but second half we kind of came out flat, and they took advantage of that. But the kids had a really good first half, especially in the rain. I think Thornton went like 6 for 8 or something passing in the first half in the rain. I kind of made it a point to show, hey guys, we can throw the ball in the rain. And I told the guys, I said, we're either going to fail at it and we'll just stop doing it. I'll throw it a couple times. If it doesn't work, we'll just go to running, which is pretty much the way Kindred stuck to it. But I mean, we just kept getting these completions and we kept rolling with it. We just couldn't finish the meat on the bone. It was Coach Engen likes to say.
Yeah.
I love that saying now, and the kids are really taken to it. So that's a lot of fun. But
You mentioned Jackson passing offense different this year than I think what you had last year. Are they slowly but surely getting that?
yeah, they're enjoying it, and they're also enjoying. Then all of a sudden we catch them back with the run and play that smash mouth football. But then we have more variety with the throwing game and are able to kind of get that ball in the air and let those kids kind of go and almost play like a little recess ball type of ordeals. Kind of the way the guys take it. I try to keep them level-headed, nice, having fun. Some of the times I obviously get too serious and gotta knuckle down and hey, it's still a game, but you know what? This offense makes it really easy to guys. We're here to have fun, but we're also here to get you ready for the following years and playing Friday nights, hopefully. So
You talked about injuries. I know a couple of guys that might have been out early on. And maybe getting some guys back too as you head to the halfway point.
Yeah. I think James Schwer, I think he's still kind of a day by day now. We did just lose Ryder Muskie, which kind of hurts. Sounds like his is fairly serious. So losing him's going to hurt too. I mean, he's a pretty good leader out there once the game whistle blows. So that's going to be deeply missed. But I mean, then we're also getting Bentley Thornton's finally reached his practice limit, so now we can have him. We're also gonna have Corbin Powell, so we're getting a few more guys back, which is really nice. So it just helps out tremendously with worrying about substitutions, getting guys some water, and all that stuff. Because I mean, it's tough playing JV and freshman ball. It really is, and I express this to the kids enough. I mean, they're expected to come out and play. I mean, you're playing I like to say the number one team in the state every day of practice. I mean, you're going up against what I like to see is the best team in the state in our division. And they're going out there, they're doing that, and then on top of that, they have to show up on Monday. And you know what? You got to go full go now. It's time for you. It's your Friday night. It's your chance to prove that, hey, I want to be the next substitution that goes in when someone goes down, when someone needs a breather. And then to turn around and once again Tuesday you're back on the field getting beat up by some of the, I mean, not necessarily beat up, but you got to give it your all.
Yeah.
Against these older guys, because that Tuesdays and Wednesdays are really the only two hard practices we can go to give these varsity guys a look at what they're going to be playing against on Friday night, and they got to learn. I mean, not necessarily learn it, but read a card and be like, okay, this is the play I got to run. I got to run this play to demonstrate what Dickinson runs as far as their run plays, their pass plays, how they run their defense. And I mean, it's a grind for them. And you know what? We got some good kids out right now that are really sticking it out and not succumbing to that injury bug. So.
And they know what they can look forward to in the next couple of years.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. It's things to aim for them, which is huge. So, it's always been fun coaching the JV and the freshmen, because you know what, been there, done that, and I know exactly how these kids are feeling. You know, it's a lot of fun, but it also is a grind, and it gets them ready for that time where it's a Friday night for them. So
what do you got coming up now here this week?
We go to Horace. So
Okay.
that one will be, like I said, it'll be a little different. We'll have a couple different guys, which will be nice. Be able to have some more substitutions for some changes, and but I know our kids are fired up. I mean, they were a little bummed that we had a bye week, whereas some of us coaches were kind of like, it's a good thing because we need to heal up. I mean, I think Jackson just finally got back into shoulder pads and full contact, whether it was today or yesterday. But I mean, he got a little beat up in that Kindred game. But I mean, I think everyone did. Kindred's always a tough team, and it's always a tough game. So thankfully, to come out of it with very few injuries was really nice to see. So.
Final question for you, Aaron. You look at these guys and what they're doing. Is that something, too, with Coach Engen kind of looks over, watches this, and it's your team, you and Cale Griebel, Kale kind of helps you out, and you guys, it's still your team, but you kind of got the head man kind of watching. But you run everything the way they would as a varsity team. This is, even though we're junior varsity, we're going to run it the same way, so you know what's going on when you get up there.
Yep. That's exactly how we do it. We do more of the simpler plays. I mean, like Coach Engen said in the interview beforehand, he does throw things in by week, just kind of who we're playing. I like to keep it kind of the basics of what he started us off running, just because, I mean, some of the kids on JV, your head is running all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is, because, I mean, on top of trying to learn new plays, you're all of a sudden turning around trying to learn Dickinson's offense as well. So, I mean, you're constantly flip-flopping. So it's just nice to know that, hey, you're coming in, you're running the base offense, you're running same scheme of everything. But I like to keep it pretty similar to it. I mean, it's nice being able to have the options for it. And I got to throw it out there that Brandon Heck is also helping us at JV. He calls the defense, so and he's probably gonna hate me for that, though. He doesn't like the camera, the spotlight, any of that kind of stuff. So he's the opposite of me. So
yeah, very much so. Very much so. I'm not going to go there. I will not go there.
You don't want to touch the brother card.
No, we won't touch the brother thing. But Aaron, again, thanks for joining us. We'll talk again tomorrow night. He'll be joining us on the broadcast during the junior high and Thunder football until Keegan plays. Then he's going to go and be a dad.
Yep. There we go. We gotta go and get on the sideline for that one.
All right. Aaron, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Paul. Anytime.
That's Aaron Heck, junior varsity 9th grade head coach for Valley City. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner from the Hack on the Highliner Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner, here on the Highliner Activity Network on this Wednesday night. And now we're moving into the cross-country world. Joining us here is Corbin Golovanov.
Golovanov.
Go ahead, say it.
Golovanov.
Okay, so you kind of say it really quick. Well, I've been saying it wrong, so you're going to have to help me when we have Parents' Night here coming up. And Deb Bilkey, the head cross-country coach, joining us here. Corbin, I guess I'll start with you. Senior year. 6 years you've been running cross-country here for the Highliners. Did you set any goals as you started this year and your last year as a Highliner?
This year I decided I was going to try to PR, throughout the season. And since I'm a captain this year, I'd like to try to, be a good team player and, help out the team. Make sure I can help to push, wanting to be a captain and wanting to help out the team throughout, the next couple of years since I'm going to be gone.
Okay. And a lot of younger guys that you're working up. I know, Simon Trapp getting a chance to run a 5K, I think, this last race. Kind of taking those younger guys under your wing and helping them out?
Yeah, it's nice. Well, we have, we usually struggle to recruit guys a little bit more than girls. The girls team is amazing, and our guys team's still working on our way up. And it's, nice to have a lot of younger guys that I can help run with and have a good time with.
You like the distances? Because you do that, too, in the track season, too.
Yeah, I do like the long distance. And I'm kind of excited for, college where it'll go up a bit more. Because I've gotten to the point where 5K is, it's really nice to run, and I just want to take it a step further soon enough. Sounds like fun.
What's your training regiment? Do you run all year round? Or, how do you get ready for a season?
I usually run some in the summer, and then I'll run. Belkey gives us these, amazing workout plans that help a lot. And then she also has practices throughout the summer, like a couple little, like every Wednesday or Thursday we do a camp. It's an awesome time. I really enjoy being able to like do our practice and stuff too because they're very nice, like great training.
As a senior, 6th year, Deb, is it nice when you have these kinds of athletes that stay with you from the time that they walk in and can start doing it all the way through?
Absolutely. That's one really nice thing about coaching cross country and track is I get to spend the 6 years with a lot of the athletes. They kind of become my kids. And so, they know kind of the scheme that I go through. I change things from time to time, but a lot of times I can say we're going to do a certain thing and they nod at me and they just take the younger ones and go with it.
And I think I was kind of looking at some of the times Corbin's taken about 3-4 minutes off his 7th grade times here as a senior. So you've seen that progression with him as a runner?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's not only matured as a runner, but he's also matured as a young man, a very nice young man.
Well, I mentioned Simon Trapp. You brought some enough kids because you guys were at Blue Stem, which I think is Trowood Park in Fargo here at your last meet. So you had a full roster for the boys. How'd you think some of those other young men ran?
They ran strong. It was fun to watch them. Sometimes, like, the times don't always tell the true story. You have to, know the course and the competition and stuff, but they all really look strong. They ran strong. They ran to their potential, which is awesome.
Now this week coming up here on Saturday, it's at the Powell Dam or something over in Bismarck, right? I can't remember the exact. McDowell. I knew it was an owl. McDowell Dam. I'm having trouble with names tonight. I don't know what it is. McDowell Dam. What kind of courses are they going to say here on Saturday?
We've never been there.
Okay.
It's always been kind of like on our bucket list to go out there because then we have the chance to see some of the West runners rather than just waiting to see them at state. Somebody said it's fairly flat. It's a loop course, so okay. I'm not sure. We just go and we look it up, and if it has hills, it's to our advantage because we live in Valley City, But we're really looking forward to it. It should be a big meet. It should have some really great competition there.
And Corbin, you as a runner, do you look forward to running on a new course that you've never run on before?
It's always a really nice experience to be able to like go on a new course and feel out like. Every course has something a little bit different. Like the one we just ran had a lot of curves, like a lot of going down and then straightaways. So that was nice to be able to like pace with people throughout the straightaways. I was pacing with a dude who was really, really good at like running just on the straightaway. He would just keep speeding up and it was amazing. It's just like that'll help you to PR. But then if you get a new course, it's just like there are these different aspects that can help you out and you can learn like what you're good at, what your strengths are, what to really like work on.
What would you say is your strength? What kind of a runner are you?
I feel like I probably do best when it's like a while straight away and then a little bit of a turn. I really like little turns or hills. Downhill I strive through.
A lot of us do better downhill.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to our age, downhill is the only way to go. So do you have a time set? You talk about PR. You want a PR when you get out there. Do you kind of think to yourself, what kind of a time you want to set? I think you were 17:54 or something like that here at your last meet. Do you want to better that now when you go out to Bismarck?
Yep. Every time I'm trying to get just a little bit better, at least put out my best effort. Like every time I can PR, it's like a nice little boost. It's just like, I put in a lot of work to get there, and it's just nice to be able to see that pay off.
Is that
awesome?
The work ethic too, and not just with Corbin, with all your runners? That's not a problem with this Highlander team, is it?
No, that's really nice because in cross country you understand that if you're going to slough off, that's what your race is going to look like. You're only hurting yourself. We don't get to sit on the bench or take timeouts, so each kid has to toe the line, and they know the distance that's in front of them. So if I'm going to slough off in practice, that race is going to be tougher. It's it's what you put in is what you're going to get out.
Well, now here we're talking about the boys cross-country team, the girls cross-country team. I think took second at that meet. Fargo Shanley was number one, and I think my cousin is the coach on that team, and I apologize because he's been there forever. But Regenberg, another first-place finish. Greta Govan had a nice race, finishing fourth, and I think Bring Leak was in the top 10 as well. Consistency with these young ladies, too. Isn't that the key with this group, is they're just consistent every time out?
Right. they love to compete. A lot of kids on the team love to compete. They don't like to shy away from. I think they'd compete every day if I would let them. But yeah, they all ran really solid. The girls ran really solid. They, again, just like the boys, they ran up to their potential, and that's basically all I ever ask from them. In cross country, you don't know what's going to happen from the time you start until about 18 or 25 minutes later.
Yeah.
A lot of things can happen. A side ache happens. You might roll your ankle. You might get pushed down. You know, sometimes that happens when you start the race and stuff. So you don't know what's going to happen, so you have to take care of that basically on your own. So it's not only you have to strengthen your body, you have to strengthen your mind along with it to stay mentally tough, because it's really easy to tell yourself you're not doing very well. But you have to, you know, stay mentally tough, even if that girl in front of you is getting further and further away. But yeah, Reagan had her PR for her career on Monday, and the next closest was 85 seconds. So it was in her head that that's what she wants to do, and she's working really hard to, along with everybody else, but to get to that, closer to that, breaking that 19-minute mark.
Well, you mentioned you're going to see Western teams. You're going to see probably the best competition to date on Saturday?
Yeah, I would say so, unless teams don't bring their varsity, but I would expect the varsities to be out there, and it's usually a pretty strong meet, and that's one of the goals. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to go out there, is just to see different competition, because we can run on this part of the state and see the same girls all the time, where it's nice to have somebody else to look at.
And, of course, with homecoming week next week, the blue and white Bill Jansen's coming up here on the 23rd, Saturday morning, the 11th, out at Bjornson. That's always an exciting time when you get that home meet, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We also have one on Tuesday. We go to Central Cass.
Yep.
That's a fun one, too, because it's flat. It's very flat. I don't know if there's a hill. Is there a hill in Central Cass? I don't think there is.
I don't know, honestly.
It is. It's on the golf course, so it's very flat. And then we host our blue-white at home. It's a busy week, but we start at 10:30. We have an elementary race. For 4 weeks, we run a cross-country elementary program, and this year we have 94 little kids in there from kindergarten through 6th grade. We had it tonight, so these kids are exhausted after that. But we have that race first, and then we start with the girls 3K at 11 o'clock. And then we just roll after that with the boys 3K and then, or 4K, sorry. And then we have the girls 5K and the boys 5K.
And getting a chance to run at home, Corbin, last time you'll run on Bjornson, at least as a Highliner. You may run it, I'm going to go out there and run it just for the heck of it. Just your thoughts and getting a chance to be on Bjornson one last time.
Well, it's been since we've been able to work the meet, it's been a lot more experience there, a lot more memories, working the meet with the team and then running it too. Ever since I was, a 7th grader, it's just been year after year we've been doing it. The course has changed up a little bit, but I'm okay with that. It's been awesome to be able to, see it change and be able to adapt to that. It's got this nice little, forest path that's always fun. I remember working with a lot of other people, while we were working the course. It was just awesome to be able to make those memories.
So, would it be sad, though, when you walk off the course for that last time?
Yeah, it'll be a little strike, just oh, that's the last time for this. But it's hopefully I'll be able to find another team. It'll be hard to find another team as good as this and as close and connected, because it's just an awesome community.
Well, and you've been doing it for 6 years. You guys really, when you run kind of in a group for a while, don't you?
When we first take off, during the meet or when we're running practices?
During the meet, yeah.
During the meet, we usually spread out quite a bit. Some teams is it Davies or the blue team? They have a little pack run in the front, and they're just a lot of crazy fast guys. But Kindred. Yep.
Yeah, Kindred's got a very good cross country team. Yeah.
Yeah, they got that little pack run in the front. But we usually have a little bit of time between us, so we will spread out a bit. But it's nice to be able to see the last course we were on, how it goes back and forth and back and forth. We were able to see each other running throughout the race, and that was nice.
So now you got a flat course coming up at Central Cass. That kind of what bodes to your strength?
Hopefully, I plan to do good on it, put my best effort.
We'll see another PR again coming up on Tuesday then.
Hopefully.
We'll start with Saturday, and then we'll go to Tuesday with that.
Yep.
All right, Corbin, appreciate you joining us. Deb, as usual, appreciate it. And again, cross country, the poll came out. Reagan did drop to number 2, but still, you guys don't worry about that kind of thing, do you? That's more for us media type.
Yeah, it's for we look at it, but it's a motivation.
Yeah.
Because earlier in the week we saw Reagan's time, and then we saw Jocelyn Schiller is a really good runner from Red River. We saw her time, and that gives just that little bit of motivation that there's no way that I can relax during a race because I want to get close to that time. And so 1, 2, 10, it doesn't matter because it all comes down to the EDC and the state. That's what we're aiming for.
That's the target right there.
Yep.
Right there, Jamestown, and at least that's what the state is. Again, girls and boys cross country, they'll be in Bismarck here on Saturday, at Central Cast next Tuesday, and then the blue and white at Bjornson a week from Saturday on the 23rd. Corbin, thank you for joining us. Deb, thanks for joining us,
thank
and
you.
good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highline Activity Network. Back here at Coach's Corner here in the Highlander Activity Network, and boys tennis is on the agenda. Head coach Matt Nielsen joining us here. Coach, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, Paul.
Well, I appreciate it as usual joining us here, Matt. And last night, kind of a fun night for Highlander tennis. The dedication of those beautiful new courts on the north side up by the pool.
And it was a fun night for the community. It was our dedication of the Valley City Parks and Rec tennis courts. We had our several park board members up there. We had Dick Gullman along with Susan Kringley, and then Heck was up there as well, Jordan Heck. So we had 3 of the park board members were up there for the dedication. Susan was the MC. She did a fabulous job. And then after the dedication, we had a ribbon cutting, and we had I was up there just holding on to it as a tennis coach, and then we had one of the players, the beneficiary of the courts, Miles Taylor, was helping too. So he helped cut with Dick Gullman, and it was just it was a fantastic ceremony. And then we went right into our match with Shanley, and it was cool having, because we had the microphone.
Yeah.
So the first time that I think all the parents got to hear the announcement of the lineup, because usually it's pretty quiet when they're behind the fence, but they had a microphone, they were able to see it all. So I thought that was pretty cool too, that we had a mic out there for the announcement of the lineup. And then our Valley City Tennis Association yesterday also had our fans and player appreciation night, in which we had hot dogs and sides and lemonade and desserts put on by the VCTA. And a special thanks to my mom. She's the one who was up there grilling and making sure the food was all good. So all the players on both teams and JVs, all the fans of both Shanley and Valley City, and any community member up there got a meal, and it was just a fun day of tennis. And had a very good match with Shanley, and I had a few of the Shanley dads come talk to me afterwards. They go, "Man, your guys' facilities are amazing. Thanks to Parks and Rec, and thanks for the school for doing them correctly." So I mean, it's 2 amazing facilities and 2 of the best ones in the state, and people love to come play here. But then the parents also said that they love playing us because our kids play the right way. We have the right attitudes. They stay positive. They know that we play the game fair. And you know what? When our opponents hit a good shot and they win the point, we actually look across the net and say, "Hey, nice shot," and then we move on to the next point, because that's the sporting thing to do. And they go, "Man, that doesn't happen as often as it should." But you guys, when we hit a good shot and hit a winner, all your players said, "Hey, nice shot," and then we moved on to the next point. So as kudos to our kid to compete hard. But when a point's over, it's fine to say nice shot to an opponent.
Well, there was one rally that I was watching during the doubles with Kellen and Miles against Shanley. It was a long point. It was a great point. Baseline, baseline, baseline. Shanley may have got the point, but everybody in the crowd clapping, and it was just, it's fun to watch those kinds of points regardless of who comes up and gets the point, but just watching those volleys.
Yep, and it's a lot of fun when you play good tennis, and I think there's been a lot of times where we've had our fans cheer at the right time, and they understand tennis where you don't cheer until the end of the point, and then you cheer either if your player hit a good shot or if it was a good point. And I think our fans have cheered a lot on good points in which our team actually ended up losing the point because it was a great point. Like, everything went our way, and you know what? Like you said, it's a long volley, competitive volley. Maybe got lobbed and ran back and continued on, and in the end didn't get it. But if it's a great point, cheer for your player, cheer for your team, cheer for both, cheer for your opponent too. I mean, it's a fun game, and especially when both teams are very sporting. And at the end of the point's over, so we can clap for the other people too.
One thing I noticed last night, it looked like Miles really is slowly but surely getting a good serve. He's not the 100-mile-per-hour serve, but it looks like his serve is coming along pretty well.
And I wrote that up, that his serve is just, he's placing it better. And you're right, it's not 100 miles an hour, but it just has that some little extra on it, that little kick that it's tough for opponents to return. So he served well yesterday in the doubles, and they followed it up with a fabulous singles match. He lost by a break to Jack Wolf up top in both sets. It was just one break, 6-3, 6-4, but he played some excellent tennis, and it's just a little thing here and there. And today, I smiled because we told him, Miles, after the match, like, hey, if you're going to get to this next level, this is the stroke you need to add. He must have reflected on it because we started doing drills, and then the very first shot I saw out of him was the shot that we needed him to hit. And I'm like, wow, that's great. That's what we needed. He goes, yeah, I know. So I mean, he's a junior, and he's learning on the court. He's taking the coaching and realizing that, hey, to get to that next level, like, I got to keep incrementally getting better and keep thinking, you know what, what's the next step to get better? And he proved it today. Like, he came ready to play today.
And the younger kids too. How are you seeing them improve as you have been going along here?
And like we've said, our whole varsity is brand new, but they take coaching very well. We really focused yesterday that, especially in doubles, we were getting kind of eaten alive by their serves. Like, Shanley has 6 of their 7 are seniors, and all of them have a pretty decent serve. And we were kind of on our heels, and we're letting the ball come into us. Well, we were either giving them an overhead, we're hitting it out, we're putting it right to the net player, and right in the middle of the match, I go, hey, we've been working return. I want you to split step, and then you gotta decide forehand, backhand, and you gotta move in with your racket. I go, I don't care if you hit the ball out, but you gotta start attacking it, because if you start attacking it now, by the end of the season, it should get consistent. And lo and behold, man, our shots started going in, and they started going in cross court because they weren't worried about it, and they were attacking it. And I mean, so they can adjust on the fly. And I think them understanding that we can't control if we win or lose. We can control our attitudes, we can control our efforts, you can control listening to coaches, and I think they realize that, and they listen to us right on the court. So it's a lot of fun to coach when you know the kids are listening and that they want to get better.
And it seems to me like these guys, again, I was just saying with Deb, work ethic is never an issue when it comes to the Highliners.
Yep, and they all work hard, and I've told them too. I go, and you guys all work hard. I'm assuming you're gonna work hard. So if I ever see something that is not up to what I think the standard is, I'm gonna assume it's because I didn't teach it well enough. So then I go, I'm not gonna get upset with you guys. I'm gonna reteach that standard, or reteach whatever skill we're doing, explain it, maybe do another drill to hone in on that skill. But then after that, I expect that skill to be executed every time. And when we do it that way, the kids, they're not on eggshells when they're at practice. They're not worried about a coach yelling at them, because they know I believe in them. And if they're not executing that, I'm not upset because they're not executing it. I'm going to find a way to help them to execute. And I think that makes practice more fun when you know coach isn't going to ever be upset with me, but coach will coach me when it needs to be coached, and then they execute from there.
And they have fun.
Yeah, they have fun. I think today at practice, I don't know, a little bit of a downer practice today.
Right.
You're going to have those once in a while. So, I mean, I wasn't too worried about it, and I didn't address it because we've been up. So, I mean, once in a while, you might just have a little more mellow practice, and I feel like today was that, but I'm not worried. I think tomorrow, our boys have a lot of fun on bus rides. So they have fun there, and someone asked me, well, why do you guys go to the food court? Why don't you just come home? And I go, well, tennis is such a fast season, and if we started doing like team suppers like basketball, and I know volleyball does team suppers, like we just do in tennis all the time. So our come together and time as a team and to hang out and just enjoy each other is at the food court. So they're excited to go to the food court tomorrow night and hang out and as a team after tomorrow night's match, and that'll be our hangout.
And being a young group of kids, a lot of them are playing together for the first time, being on a team for the first time, and it's a learning experience as well.
It is. It's a good learning experience, and I think the thing that we really focused on today too was our focus, because we're not staying in long rallies because we're getting a little slow with our feet, or we don't racket prep enough. So we really focused today on consistency from the baseline, getting our feet in the right spot, getting turned, attacking the ball the same every time. But then after you attack, you got to recover to the right spot, and that was the big part, is recover to the right spot. And that takes a lot of focus if you're not used to that. So we really focused on that, and I talked to the guys afterwards, and I go, how many of you still lost your focus during that drill? And almost all of them raised their hand. I go, well, the way to get better is you got to recognize when you're not focused and then continue moving on. And they're getting it, and I know they're not trying not to be focused,
Right.
like they're not intentionally not being focused, but I just keep reminding them, hey, are you focused? Nope. All right. How are you going to get yourself back? If you need something from me, I can help you out. But if you can get yourself back, but the first step is you have to recognize you're not focused to then refocus yourself.
So what is coming up here for the Highlanders
Oh
next?
man, we got a lot going on.
I know that.
So tennis is always. I think we're probably the craziest sports with how much goes on. It's a 9-week season, but it's really 7 weeks from the first day of practice to the last day of the match. But if you don't count those first 2 weeks because that's practice, we only have a 5-week competitive season, which includes 9 EDC matchups, 2 tournaments, 4 or 5 non-conference matches. So I mean, we stack it all in there. So here's our lineup right now: is tomorrow we go to West Fargo Cheyenne. Then on Friday morning, Mandan's coming here for an 11 a.m. start time. And then something that might not be on the calendar, I talked to Mr. Hunt, and I don't know if he got there, but we're going to play Minot North at 3 o'clock at the North Courts. Also, they're going to come through.
Okay.
They only have 8 kids. They're not playing a full varsity schedule. They're playing a JV schedule. They're playing a varsity match here and there. They're going to go to the West Fargo Invite, but they're going to play us in a match at 3 o'clock on Friday. Then we have the West Fargo Invite, which is a 6 singles brackets, 3 doubles brackets tournament spread all over Fargo. Every team in the state's there. It's either you get a medal or you lost twice. So you get to keep playing until you lose twice. So it's a fantastic tournament that Chad Anderson from West Fargo Cheyenne puts on. And then next week is homecoming.
Yep.
So we'll have a match Tuesday, Thursday, and then the following week is our ordinary last week, where we're going to have a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday tournament, and then we roll into regionals already. I mean, it's crazy that we're already talking end of the season.
There's no downtime.
No, it's just, and when I sent out my weekly emails, I said, hold on to your hats because it's coming right now. So and the kids know that, and the parents really appreciate, because I do email out exactly what we're doing all the time, so they understand it's a fast season, but at least the parents and the kids are completely informed of every single day, what's the expectation, what's the time, what are we doing, and the parents really like that, and I don't think I can do it any other way, because I think I almost do it as much to keep myself organized too, because that way I know what's coming on this week.
And I bet the kids just love match after match after match after match.
Well, they do enjoy it. I mean, it gets to the point where, like, we want a couple more practices, but it's such a short season. Like with tennis, it's one of those sports where you got to develop the skills a lot in the off season, and we can do some doubles drills and we can do a little tweaking in season, but and if you're going to overhaul something in season, it's the muscle memory is not going to get there. So it's all right that it's match after match.
All right. Well, we'll talk again next Wednesday and see where we're sitting as we get to the final couple of weeks of the regular season. But, Matt, again, congratulations on the new court. It was a long time coming, 6 years in the making before these new courts got done. And everybody in Valley City can enjoy these new courts now.
Yep, and please come out and play on them. And what's really cool about them is that they have 10 and under tennis lines on them. So they have the black lines that are inside. So I mean, if parents want to play with their kids, I recommend getting orange balls or the red balls. And if you do those are compression balls that bounce easier. Go play on the shorter court ones with balls that are appropriately sized, and then everybody can have fun. And I think more people would join tennis if they started with the short court tennis. So please go out and enjoy our courts, enjoy the Parks and Rec courts, enjoy the City Park, enjoy the high school courts. Just go play some tennis.
Oh, sounds good to me. Well, Matt, again, appreciate it. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
That is Matt Nielsen joining us from Valley City Tennis. We'll be back, wrap things up here on Coach's Corner from the Hack on the Highliner Activity Network. And back here on Coach's Corners, we get ready to wrap things up on this Wednesday night. Again, just what's coming up on the Highliner Activity Network. You can find us live on YouTube. You go to YouTube, you search Valley City Highliners or Valley City Highliner Activities. And again, we've got archived sporting events, live sporting events. Full night of sports tomorrow. I mean, we've got it covered. We've got 4 football games we're going to have tomorrow, junior high and Thunder football. Volleyball, as I mentioned, a big match for volleyball. They got the #1 undefeated team coming in Fargo North, and that'll be here at the Hack at 7 o'clock. We'll have C Squad and along with the ninth graders, and then junior varsity and varsity Friday night. Dickinson comes in undefeated, ranked number 5th in the state. Highliners ranked 6th in the state, also undefeated. And that'll be a big one with 2 3-0 teams clashing at Hannah Field. 7 o'clock kickoff on that. And, of course, homecoming week next week, Powder Puff on Monday night. All sorts of home events going on next week. Again, Friday night, the West Fargo Horse Hawks will be here for the homecoming game. So just go to YouTube and search Valley City Highliners and Highliner Activities and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. You subscribe, you're done. You can get alerts when we're going to go live, and that's how you can follow Highliner Activities. Just go to YouTube and search Valley City Highliner Activities. Well, my thanks again to our guys that got things set up tonight, Derek Baird and Jaden Johnson, and Brian Krewald, our technical director, and kind of a co-host here tonight joining us. And as usual, all of our guests with Aaron Heck, Travis Engen, Corbin Golovanoff, Will Schwer, and Deb Bilke, along with Matt Nielsen joining us here tonight. Next Wednesday, we'll be back again 6 o'clock with the Coach's Corner. And you can find us each and every week at 6 o'clock here at the Hack, right here on the Highliner Activity Network.